Next on our agenda, next on our agenda is item 20. And I should turn this over to Miss Lorraine, but I don't think she wants to take this on. Okay. This was put on this was requested to be put on the agenda. And so here we are. We'll start with Board Member Ellis.
Well, we both said we'd take it on at the same time, so. So in board docs is an option 2 calendar, which is basically what we did last year. I would like to make a motion that we adopt option 2. We've only implemented this a couple times, but last night I noted both committee members' eyes rolling back in their head, audience disappearing, staring at our staff today. We've been here since 8 in the morning, and it's almost 8 o'clock at night. And when they left the meeting last night, they had work to do to prepare for today. I just think that it's a disservice to do it the way that we've been doing it tonight to the public, our board, and to good decision making.
Okay, we have a motion to
change
our schedule to.
I apologize.
I hope that's not all your emotion, but I think.
No, it's not. I just
rephrase
started speaking to it. I apologize. Option 2. Yes.
Okay, so is there's a second, and we'll get into discussion. We have a second. Now we'll get into discussion. Board Member Belknap.
Thank you, Chair. I know that some people who are working, I know that this is a little difficult. However, I think for us to be better board members and be fresher, I like this, and really all it does is exchange board meeting day for the committee day and start both of them in the morning.
Vice Chair Brittany Cummins.
And I will speak against this, feeling very chipper at 7:45 p.m. I feel like I've spoken to several members of the staff. They're very supportive of whatever schedule we do. It doesn't matter what time we have our meetings. The public is the same. The same people come or they don't. And if we go back to that schedule, it affects board members' employment. And I think we are setting a precedence where we are just consuming more and more time of board members, not just time, but work time, and it makes it difficult for a variety of people to participate as board members on our board. So I'm going to speak against it.
Board Member Davis.
Again, hybrid. I'm going to, I guess, speak against it in favor of a hybrid at some point. Can I amend? I'm going to amend. I move to amend the motion. Can we just have a conversation before I do that? Because we could move it either to 10 to 6 both days so that people could have a little bit of work time in the morning and we could avoid rush hour drive times, or we could do a Thursday, like a noon to, 7 or something. I think just avoiding staying till 9 is what was the original thought from what I'm hearing from people.
It still takes my whole day. Sorry.
I think what you're talking about, what did you say, like starting at 10 and go till 7? Is that what, did I hear you just say that? I'm trying to, hang on one sec.
Well, originally I was saying either do like a 10 to 6 each day. That would still give public or teachers or people who could come from, 5 to 6 in the afternoons. We could move public input to the nighttime. And it would still give people who need to work some time to get some appointments done in the morning during work hours. When traffic is better, is what I'm hearing. Or we could do like a noon to 6 on Thursday and then a full day on Friday, 9 to whatever this is.
Okay, Board Member Cannon.
I speak in favor of the change, and I believe it's option 2, but my computer's died. Okay. I was persuaded, when we made the change, because I think Kathleen Reby was very adamant that we have meetings during the evening when people could come. But my experience has been that fewer people have been able to come and that it's been harder for them. And so I support going to option 2.
Okay, Board Member Ellis.
I apologize. I didn't realize my light was still on.
Okay. Board Member Scott Hansen.
Speak against the motion just because this directly affects me and my work. I'm able to get a half day of work done in the morning on Thursdays before we come in on this schedule, and I'm fine with staying up late. I understand that many people aren't. If that is not acceptable to most of us, I'd certainly appreciate starting at 10. For those of us who are outside the city, that commute, it will take me twice as long to be here at 9 as it will to be here at 10. I guess I'll have to leave at 7 to get here at 9. I can leave at 8, or excuse me, I can leave at 9 to get here at 10.
Board Member Bolter.
Yeah, I hear you about commute. Mine's 4 hours. So, and when we end at like 6 or 7, it's another 4-hour drive for me back, so I'm getting home really late. Or I'm catching a flight and getting in at midnight. So I am for this motion, the option 2. That way I can drive at decent times. And so I'm gonna vote for this.
Okay, I'm going to speak for option 2 for a reason. Not a selfish reason, because I'm how many hours away? Like 2.5. And it's about choices made and sacrifice and a few other things. But the biggest reason, this is what I shared with the board a long time ago when it came to the decision to this proposed schedule that accepted, and there was criticism and a lot of debate regarding that. And then we make really important decisions. And it was my observation from the previous schedule that when you push that, before we were pushing on a Thursday, we pushed into Thursday night, and it was torture around 7 o'clock, 7:30, and we were not doing our best work. And so in the name of doing our very best work, when we changed the schedule, besides the challenge of being away from work and other places, I saw an improvement in being able to move betterments forward in committees and all the decisions that we're making. And so just from a board member's perspective, that's my observation, but I am sensitive to those that work in that. But if I needed to do, just my observation, if we were to do our best work, it's I believe we'd do our best work under the environment that's under the proposal of option 2, and I'm not opposed to starting at 10 o'clock or 9:30 or whatever we decide to do. The other part, the most important part, that was one reason, but the biggest reason is safety. And we have our staff stay late, and a lot of them commute. A lot of them find family members to stay with, and that they're at the mercy of the board, and for those big evenings. And then those that have to commute, and those that still have a couple that are within, they don't get to stay in a hotel room, and they have that little window. They have that long commute, and then they have the early commute in the morning, and I worry about their safety. On the military side, I serve as an ombudsman. I do mediation on dealing with service members and that, and they push hard. They're tough people mentally, physically, and everything else. They're having a lot of problems with reserves when they finish their drill and trying to get back to their homes and then get back to work. If they didn't have an opportunity to have that 8-hour window before they went to work, when they didn't have that, their accidents in the workplace went up. This is not military accident. This is in the workplace. So in the USERA law, they changed that to make sure they had it, and the accidents and that went down. And so I really worry about the safety side. Not not just for our staff and that, but for all of you. And I know it's a lot of sacrifice and that, but in the name of safety and bringing our very best to public education, I support the number 2. So that's why I'm going to vote for it. Now, we as leadership and a few other things, we can definitely, it doesn't say in this that we, or does it say that? We, okay, do Ms. Lorraine, before we.
Okay. All right. I have maybe a suggestion on times that even if we start later, like at 10, that perhaps we start with study session. That way, for those that need to come a little bit later, you would still be able to get the information all the information on board docs and watch it. So you would still get all that information, but if you really can't be there, it would give you a little bit extra time. And so maybe we'd have a study session, then the USDB meeting, then a break for lunch, and then go into your committees just like at 12:30 or 1 on Thursday.
On Friday.
Oh, on Friday. Yeah, that's right. We're flipping them on Friday. Yeah. Just a suggestion.
Board member, do you want to push your button there, board member Lear?
I
You're really good at it. You've done good.
thought I really didn't care about this, and I mostly don't. But I do think if the board goes to the board staff goes to the trouble of preparing study sessions and they decide that it's something important for the board to study, I think it would be really important and helpful for all board members to have that common understanding. And what Lorraine just described, so I know that she feels it's being, some people feel it's being helpful. I think it will end up with 3 or 4 board members for study sessions. And I don't think that, and I'm maybe exaggerating a bit for effect, but even if we have 8 board members, it's not an effective use of my time to be here if then everybody else gets filled in a different way, or there's not a common understanding when we need to discuss something complicated like licensing. I'd prefer if we go to that model that we just say, let's hold study sessions 3 times a year or something along those lines, so that it's not so much of a time commitment, but everybody knows that they're supposed to be there to have that experience.
Board member Scott Hansen.
Just a question for the group. I don't understand the rationale behind changing the board meetings to Thursday and study session to Friday. And I don't know that we can do that now that we've published the board meeting schedule for the year. Is that? If we can, what's the rationale to do that?
Superintendent.
That we're tired.
Want to respond to that when we had this discussion, I guess it was last year when we had the fun discussion, I know that groups like the USBE, Superintendent's Association, there were a handful that came and said, we have set all of our meetings around your meetings. So I think just cautionary about if you flip the Friday day, which is the day that they, I just throw that out there because I know that they were concerned about that last time, and maybe it's not the case this year. And maybe it doesn't matter, but.
Board member Ellis.
Sorry, I'm a big advocate of the switch. And this idea originally was something that I got from another board when I was at a USBA conference last year, and we implemented it. Wasn't it last year, the first year we implemented the switch? And part of the reason why is what was happening is they were having committees. We still have a delay, so you haven't experienced this quite yet. But when I was first elected, there was a committee, and they voted on it the very next day in a board meeting. And so there's kind of a panic. Right now, we have a month, but now because they're flipped, it's a little confusing. So for an example, law and licensing, in December, they had a definition. But because we flipped the schedule, then we were talking about it in committee, but it was a new version of the definition, not the one that was going to be voted on the next day, because we're backwards. And so this way, it just makes a little more sense. So another example, in Standards and Assessment Committee last month, they talked about the standard cyclical cycle, and it was an action item. So today, we could have taken action, but they talked about it yesterday in Committee 2, and then brought it back that'll be next month. So it's just a little confusing. So I am a big advocate for switching the days, and I apologize to any entity or organization that set their calendar, but we have the prerogative to do so. It's the same days, but maybe they care more. And they're at both days, so I don't think they care.
Board Member Cannon?
It's
They told
almost
me.
8 o'clock. I call for the question, or move the previous question.
Okay, we're going to end debate here.
Yo, Ben, wherever you are.
Okay, we're going to vote all on ending debate here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, to end debate, yes, I'm in favor. Yes,
Those opposed?
totally aye.
Yeah, she's.
Linda? Oh, I can hear you. We're voting to end debate.
She said aye already. You want to put her on the mic? Oh, yeah, we want to put her on the mic, then you could hear her better. Are you voting to end debate?
Yes.
Okay. Those opposed? Okay, voting's unanimous. Okay. The motion before us is option 2 of the schedule, to change our schedule. They can amend. Yeah. Let me turn this on, though. I'm really slow. There you go. Oh,
I
you're
move to
back on
amend the
again.
motion for 10 to 6.
You make a,
I move to amend the motion to meet from 10 to 6,
okay, we have amendment to the motion to meet.
Both days?
as opposed to 9 to 5.
Oh, where's 9 to 5?
What's that?
Which 9 to 5?
Both days,
Really?
or maybe not Friday.
Laura,
Yeah.
did they talk about July?
Not yet.
Okay, we have an amendment. Amendment to the motion that the times will be 10 from,
All right, let's do Thursday 10 to 6 and Friday 9 to 5.
I'll second that motion.
okay, Thursdays 10 to 6, Fridays
9 to 5.
9 to 5. We have a second. I'm not seeing any discussion to the motion. So let's vote on the amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
No.
Well, the ayes, raise your hand. Okay, Board Member Earl, Board Member Scott Hansen, Board Member Gravitt, Board Member Lear, Board Member Newell, Board Member
Then we'd be here till 10
Davis,
tonight.
Board Member Ellis, Board Member Lisa Cummins, Vice Chair Brittany Cummins. Motion the motion for the amendment passes. So now we have an,
It would
oh,
be
did Linda
10
vote?
o'clock now.
What was,
What did you vote, Linda?
I'm not sure what we're voting
On
on.
to
Are we
change,
voting on-
to change the time to 10 to 6 and 9 to...
9 to 5.
Oh, 9 to 5. You can't say 9 to 5 or 10 to 6. We never end at those times. You're only putting start times. You can't put end times.
The end time can end at 7.
If you switch the committee meetings to Friday.
So what are we voting on?
So it's just the starting times.
Yeah, so I would say we can't pick end times because, hello?
It's in the motion.
So that means we have to end at 6 o'clock no matter what, if we've now agreed to that as a group.
Not necessarily. The prevailing group can bring it back. Okay, hold on, hang on one sec. Okay, without objection, can we change that? Am I hearing not to have the end times just because it's not going to work?
Okay, then I vote aye.
If there's no end times.
Without objection, we're
Thank
going to
you.
have it be start times. Are you okay with that for your
Thursday start at 7 and on Friday start at
9? Okay, without objection, that's going to be the motion. The amendment to the motion. Okay, so now we have the amended motion.
Clarity?
Question.
My question for clarity is the board meeting starting at 10 or is executive meeting starting at 10?
It would be whatever's for.
However we put our schedule together, so I don't
Only
think we want to
starts
get
at
to
10.
specific. It will,
Okay. So really, board meeting doesn't start till 11:15.
Depends on wherever
Or usually about.
wherever our executive session lands.
Wow, that's pretty late.
This is the study session day, so the study session.
Whatever it
Board
is,
meeting is Thursday.
I don't think we want to tie up our agenda. We just want start times.
Thursday and committees for Friday.
I'm okay, sorry, I have it.
I apologize, but I think that that's a very valid point that we need to consider. If we start at 10 and we have an executive session that goes till 11, public comment is coming up on lunchtime for people, and I don't know if that will bring greater participation or less participation, but it's something to think about.
really think we need to just start.
We don't have to have that executive then. That's what I'm saying. We'll accommodate our people the best way. Let's just make sure, my recommendation, we just stay with our start time. 10 and 9. Is that okay with everyone okay with the motion? Board meeting on Thursday. Board Member Belknap?
Oh, I just have this for Linda, sorry. I just turned it on.
Okay, I have this on. Okay, we're going to vote on the.
It already carried, didn't it?
Okay, did we do the amendment, or did we do the?
The amendment carried.
The amendment carried.
Okay,
Now
so-
we have the amended motion. We're going to vote on the amended motion. I'm keeping track here.
Good job.
That's my job. I got to finish strong. I got 2.5 hours, or 2 hours and 15 minutes to get home. Okay, so the motion before the board is that we're going to go with Schedule 2 with start time. It's on the board at 10, and then the second day starts at 9. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Voting is unanimous. I want to make sure I can hear.
Thanks, Miss Linda.
Am I on a delay or something?
No, we
I
got
didn't hear
you.
the nay.
Okay.
Did you hear her? Did you hear Linda vote? No. How'd you vote, Linda?
Aye.
Okay, the voting wasn't
Thanks,
unanimous.
Mike.
We have the one nay. I am sorry.
Bye.
I have these things amped up.
Do you want to bring that up?
I know, it's a surprise. I was really looking
Okay,
to see if
Linda has something else, sorry. Go ahead, Linda.
I don't know if you can hear me or not. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I'm concerned about our July meeting because there are two conferences right on in the middle. When our meeting is right in the middle of two conferences, the ECS conference in Denver, which is a conference that many of us go to, and then the URSA Rural Schools Conference in Price that many of our staff and us also go to. And so I'm wondering if we should change, or maybe I'll make the motion that we change our July meetings and only have committee meetings and let committee chairs schedule those with their committee members. We've done that before in July.
Can I throw a suggestion before you make a motion or anything on this? What we've done in the
Sure.
past is our bylaws and all that say we will have 11 board meetings, and that was put together because usually July was a pause month because staff and a lot of people needed to get places, and it was Deputy Superintendent Scott Jones there he goes. Hey, get in here, evil twin. Here, I'll put my glasses on. I'll pretend I'm you. How about that? Purple and everything else. We had a lot of business we needed to take care of, and I think we might be a little bit ahead of the game, and I've had board members talk about this, and then if we have to have a committee meeting, then we can call a committee, but let's not, if we really want to try to go back to that, and even our educators, superintendent, all the other people are like, that is their kind of pause month in education to catch their breath. Do we not schedule a July meeting? I would probably recommend doing that, and then if that's where the board's wanting to go, and then if the need exists, then the committees we can call a committee meeting.
I'm fine with that. I talked to Scott Jones, and I don't know if Scott's still there, but when I talked to Scott, he said they may need a finance committee meeting, but he wasn't sure. So,
Okay.
but he didn't think, as far as he was concerned, we needed a full board meeting for his financial stuff.
I'm free July 4th. Anybody else?
Okay, Jenny, Board Member Earl has a comment, and then I want to hear from the superintendent on what was being proposed.
So I just have a quick comment. I'm not sure how this works with the standards. So our health curriculum standards, we just closed public comment, right, a couple weeks ago. So if I have specific feedback or wording I want changed, it doesn't make sense to me for them to go through the process of meeting and writing, and then it comes here at the end. How do I go about doing that? Is that done here?
You can send it to them. Send it to them. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not waiting for a meeting to do
No,
that.
no.
We're not having a public dialogue meeting. I can just send that to them.
Yes.
Where is the public comment? I want to see it.
Well, it's not ready yet. It just got done.
Okay, because we were supposed to have that dialogue a little bit today, because that was on the agenda, right? The health standards. There was a summary or something was on, it was just informational. Oh, that was yesterday. No, that's okay. I just wanted to know the process, so we're good. But I thought I was anticipating that today, but I wanted to know.
So Laura makes a motion.
To do what? You can make it.
Okay,
They can
okay,
do it.
okay,
As
that's
good as
it.
me.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't tell if Mark's calling on me now.
Well,
There-
I'm on all the time because you're on here.
Okay,
She really wants to do something.
Board Member Linda Hanson, what are you
Hi.
wanting to do?
So I make a motion that we not have a July meeting and then just do that committee meetings as needed.
Okay.
Is
I-
that
could-
the motion you want, Mark?
Could I
Is that good?
suggest that we don't schedule a July meeting?
Yes.
But it could get scheduled.
But you could get there in case there's something going to happen, so I don't want to be, so we do have
Okay.
special meetings
Is that
done again.
okay?
So is that your motion to not show a July meeting on our calendar?
Yes, that's her meeting.
She said yes?
Yes, she said yes.
Is there a second? Second. Discussion to that motion? Seeing none, we will vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Will the no be recognized?
Janet wants a July meeting.
I have it in my calendar already.
We can help you take it off.
Okay, Miss Linda, I'm hanging you up.
Board Member Lear. Okay, the motion passed.
It did. Okay, okay, bye.
Bye.
I need your mic on. We're in our board meeting.
Linda, I'm talking. Word to your mother. Yeah. What I do not want is, in reference to Janet's comment, is what's happened for 2 years of the 3, now I've been here, and that is say, no July meeting, and then all of a sudden, we're having a July meeting, and it's next week. Because we have at A, B, and C that has to be done this month.
I think we can stay ahead. If there's an emergency, we're going to deal with but our goal is to work around.
But then just leave it scheduled, and use that for our emergency. Yeah. 'Cause- have you had a trip planned now?
But there's a lot of people and organizations that, when it's on our calendar, they put their life around it.
Okay, then
And
promise me you won't.
I can't promise, that's what I want to say, is if there's an emergency, I cannot say we will not have a meeting. I can call a meeting if there's an emergency.
It's interesting, we've had an emergency 2 out of 3 years in July. The last
We will
3.
we will do our best on our scheduling and stay ahead of it. Okay,
Well, then schedule.
okay, okay, we're moving along.
Just we're moving along. That's funny. Why so grumpy?
Okay.